Now, the Hungarian people can be absolutely certain of one thing. As long as we are in power, as long as you see us leading, not a single forint from the Hungarian people's treasury will ever be sent to Ukraine. Brussels cannot use the Hungarian people's money.
We all want peace for Ukraine, and for that, Ukraine must be in a position of strength. And this is the reason why we agreed in fall that we would cover the financial needs of Ukraine for the year's military and budgetary needs for the years 26 and 27. And thus, in December, the European Council agreed to support Ukraine with stable and predictable funding. And this morning in the Commission, we have adopted the legal proposal for this agreement. We will provide Ukraine with a loan of 90 billion euros for the years 26 and 27. This is done in enhanced cooperation, so with 24 out of the 27 member states participating. And with this support, we are making sure that Ukraine can, on one hand, bolster its defence on the battlefield and strengthen its defence capabilities, so all the military needs, and on the other hand, keep the state and the basic services running. In other words, the budgetary needs are covered. And it is for us very important to send a very strong signal that reaffirms Europe's unwavering commitment to the security, the defence and the future prosperity of Ukraine. Now, this proposal says that we propose to split the 90 billion euros in two parts. One-third will be, that is 30 billion euros for budgetary support, and two-thirds of the 90 billion will be for military support, so 60 billion euros. With the military assistance, Ukraine can stand strong against Russia, and at the same time it can integrate more closely into Europe's defence industrial base. Now, how to use the funds? We will more or less structure it like we do it in the SAFE proposal. The funds will be used to purchase equipment mainly from Ukraine, from the European Union and the EEA-EFTA countries. But if these necessary procurement are not possible in this region and, or in due time, then it might also occasionally be possible to acquire the equipment outside the European Union and the geographical region I've just described. So in general, European preference, but a cascading principle, European preference first, and then, if not possible, then the purchase abroad. The budget support, so the 30 billion euros, is designed to help Ukraine to advance its reforms and to modernize the country. The investment is conditioned to reforms, also to bring Ukraine closer to European Union membership. This includes the commitment of Ukraine towards strong democratic processes, the rule of law and anti-corruption measures. These conditions are non-negotiable for any financial support. You know our principles, investment and reform, also to make sure that Ukraine moves forward on its path of accession to the European Union. Then there's another element that I want to emphasize that was agreed in parallel to today's package in the European Council in December. That is that our proposal for the reparation loan remains on the table. It's for us also very important to send a stark reminder to Russia that we reserve the right to make use of the immobilized Russian assets. And the documents show that the assets will remain immobilized until the war ends and until reparations are being paid. You also see it reflected in the fact that Ukraine would not have to pay back the loan until reparations are being paid. So to conclude, today we're demonstrating our continued and steadfast support to Ukraine.
In Brussels and in Kyiv, it seems everyone is truly beginning to lose their common sense. Brussels has already spent hundreds of billions of euros up from the pockets of European people to finance the war in Ukraine and the corrupt regime there. In contrast, the Ukrainians have now submitted an $800 billion claim. They want the European Union to provide $800 billion to Ukraine over a period of 10 years just to keep the state itself functioning. So we haven't even begun to discuss the military and defense expenditures here yet. This will be one of the most important debates in Brussels in the coming period, whether the European Union will give these $800 billion from the money of European citizens. Obviously, to do this, every single penny available in the European Union must be gathered. They have to sweep up the money from the people, including from the Hungarian people, so they can then send all of this money to Ukraine. Now, the Hungarian people can be absolutely certain of one thing. As long as we are in power, as long as you see us leading, not a single forint from the Hungarian people's treasury will ever be sent to Ukraine. Brussels cannot use the Hungarian people's money within the framework of this $800 billion. The Ministry for European Union Affairs also prepared a report on this matter, and it clearly shows that Brussels has already made proposals regarding where to take the money that can then be sent to Ukraine within the framework of these $800 billion. They want us to abolish the home creation subsidies, and instead of supporting young Hungarians and those not so young in getting access to housing, give the money to Ukraine. They want us to abolish the 13th month pension and forget about the 14th month pension too. So instead of giving the money to Hungarian pensioners, send the money to Ukraine. They want us to take away tax exemptions from mothers. They want us to cut back on family tax benefits. So instead of supporting Hungarian families, Hungarian mothers, and Hungarian children, they want us to send that money to Ukraine. They want us to close down hospitals, and they want us to make various healthcare cuts. They say we don't need so many doctors or so many hospital beds. So instead of funding Hungarian healthcare, we send the money to Ukraine. They want us to abolish the youth worker loan. So instead of supporting young Hungarian workers, we're sending the money to Ukraine, and they want us to abolish the utility price cap, making utility costs many times higher for Hungarian families. So instead of the utility price cap, they want us to send the money to Ukraine. Well, this certainly won't happen. As long as we are here, as long as we are in power, we won't send Hungarian people's money to Ukraine. The stakes are high, because Brussels wants to send this $800 billion to the Ukrainians, but they can only do that if there is agreement. That's why they want to grind us down too, and that's why they want a Brussels loyal puppet government to be established in Hungary. A puppet government that says yes to Brussels demands, a puppet government that would agree to send the Hungarian people's money to Ukraine. As long as we are here, this will not happen. The Hungarian people can be certain that the sovereign national government will not permit the Hungarian people's money to be sent to Ukraine. Besides, the stakes are high. On April 12th, we can decide will Barbary agree. Will the Hungarian people's money stay in Hungary for Hungarians, or will the Hungarian people's money be used to operate the Ukrainian state?